Welcome again to the Entrepreneur's Edge podcast. This is another guest today, and I'm lucky because Farah is just right down the road from me. She is in Colleyville, Texas, and I'm in Bedford, and we probably live 3 minutes from, or we probably are working 3 minutes from each other. Farah, I'm going to let you introduce yourself and your business. Tell us about your business and how you got into it.
Sure. My name is Farah Hyman, and our company is MOD Interiors, and we are located here in Colleyville, Texas. And we are pretty much a full design studio firm that we help our clients to create, I guess, the homes of their dreams, right? So we take it from conception to completion for them to help them create that home that they love. And let's see, how did I get started in this? We've been doing this probably about 20 some odd years now. It's crazy to think about. But I actually got started a little bit different from everyone else. I didn't like go to school and plan on being an interior designer. My background is actually HR. And I started working for a company that I started helping their CEOs transition from one location to another. And I would help them set up their homes and things like that. And once I did that, everybody just started saying, "Oh my God, you should totally do this for a living. You should totally do this for a living." And so little by little, I kind of did, which is interesting. Because I would help them with their homes, so they will tell their friends, and then I'll get, more clients. And we started doing just pretty much styling, organizing, and staging is kind of what we started out doing. And then it has just grown into kind of what we are today.
Awesome, awesome. And so what exactly do you guys focus on? We talked a little bit about remodeling. What's kind of right now the focus of your company?
So the focus for us right now is a lot of kitchen and bath remodeling and helping a lot of our customers really take a home that they lived in for a while and turning it into the home that they've always wanted. A lot of our customers are yeah, at the point where the kids are out of the house. And so they want to make the house just perfect for them to kind of grow old into. So we kind of come in and help them create that.
Awesome, awesome. So what's the biggest problem facing your industry right now, and how are you solving that for your clients?
Hmm. Solving it is a little tricky, but I would say that I think the hardest thing in our industry is helping our potential clients understand the importance of creating a plan for anything they decide to do in their homes. Because I can't tell you how many clients that we have had come to us that have spent money over and over trying to do something on their own, when if they had just hired a designer to help them create a plan and then to execute that, it would have saved them so much money. Even something as simple as color selection. We had customers they would call us in and they would have had this. They would tell me, I had a client actually just a couple months ago, I should say, call me and we went over and she said, I have painted this house like 3 times. That's expensive. And had they just call a designer, just help them choose the right color, it would have saved them a lot of money. So I think that's the biggest pain point for us in this industry, is trying to help clients understand the importance of having a designer, because a designer works very different than even a contractor, because we focus on how the client lives or how they want to use the house and all these personal things to create that plan for them. While a contractor does not, that's not their focus, right? Their focus is more to implement um, the design. They're not really focused on how do you live, how do you want this to work for you. So I would say that would be our hardest thing, trying to get out there to people to understand that it is very important to kind of have somebody on their side, like us.
Awesome. Yeah, I know that it also must be logistically a kind of difficult. The contractors, a lot of times you tell them what to do and it turns out different than what you told them to do as well, right? And so I'm assuming it's helpful if they have an actual plan and it's put in front of them.
Exactly, which is what we provide. So when a client comes to us, we have a questionnaire that's probably, depending on what they're having done, that can be anywhere from 3 to 10 pages long, of just asking a lot of very, what to some people seem, some of them seem very silly, like, why are you asking me that? But we're trying to really understand their style, their taste, their needs, and how they want the space to serve them. And then when we put that plan together, we give them everything. So when the contractor gets it, there's no guessing, right? They have everything the way it should be, the way we want it. So it's really hard for there to be an error, you know what I mean? So they know exactly what they're implementing. When a lot of the contractors we work with, they love that, right? Because they don't have to guess on anything. So they love that.
Sure. Awesome. Awesome. So tell us, who's your ideal client, and what can they expect when they work with you?
So our ideal client are primarily clients who are home where their kids have already left the home. So they're empty nesters, maybe even retired, and they are looking to, like I said, make their house their home. And so when they come to us, they can expect that we will really work to create a plan that is personalized to them, right? And help them think about things that maybe they didn't think about before that they might need in the future, especially when we're talking about working with people that are creating their space that will be the home that they grow old in. So we try to think ahead of how, what if something happened as they get older? What if, their eyesight starts to decline? We kind of think about all that stuff and put that in place so that when it's time for that to happen, they don't have to come in and do another overhaul to make sure the space worked properly for them.
Sure. Sure. So what uh, I think this question is it kind of answers it with what you just talked about. It kind of answers it. What do you feel like makes you unique as you're doing this?
Yeah, and I think, yeah, like you said, yeah, one of those things is that how we are very focused on living in place, as we call it, meaning creating a space that is essentially ready for a client as they get older, whether they become, wheelchair bound or need to be able to sit in their shower or need a grab bar. Like we consider all these things and creating like proper lighting. Like I said, as we get older, our eyes do kind of, start to work against us. So we create proper lighting and walkways for them to make sure that all of that is an easy transition as they get older.
Awesome. Awesome. So where do you see your industry going in the next 5 to 10 years, and how are you staying on top of that?
Mm. Well, I'd see our industry is definitely evolving as it always is. And we are moving towards creating homes, kind of like what we're talking about, where people are thinking more about creating a home that just functions well, whether they are in their 20s or in their 60s, right? So speaking of having everything kind of ADA ready, that's a huge thing. I think that's kind of becoming more and more prevalent in our industry. People are being more aware of that. Also, people thinking about nature more, thinking about how they can use things that are more sustainable. So that is a big thing that is definitely moving our industry forward right now, is creating spaces that are healthy for people, and are sustainable and are kind of like helpful to the planet. And we're trying so hard to create things that are not harming the planet anymore than we
Hmm.
have.
Hmm.
So I think that's
So
definitely the way that
can
we're
you
going.
can you give me an example of that?
Yeah, so for example, we consider using floors like bamboo floors, right? Things that doesn't require tearing out, trees that we need, obviously for our environment. We do a lot of repurposing, meaning if a client has a sofa that is, the bones are still good, we will consider reusing that sofa, adding new fabric, maybe doing a little bit of tweak to change the look of it a little bit. But we're not taking that sofa and throwing it in landfill. So we are repurposing these things. So a
Mhm.
lot of those kinds of things. And we love here at Mod, we love using what clients already have, things they've collected, and implementing that into their space. So all of that kind of help with that sustainability. And as far as thinking about more creating a space that is more green, that has bring more of the outside in, just to kind of just the overall health of people and keeping their space well lit, all that kind of stuff is the kind of things we try to do for them.
And so what right now is what are the trends, the big trends right now in the design for bathrooms and kitchens?
There's a lot of trends. We're not very trendy over here. We like to keep things more classic and more personalized for people. But some of the trends that are out there that we are really loving, and we're seeing a lot more warmer space, which is great because, a lot of people took that gray thing that we had for the past couple of years way too far to where everything was gray and on gray on gray. And so people are welcoming back more a lot of the warm tones. And it doesn't have to be, so warm, but at least to where there's a balance. There's more of a balance. Even if you have a gray, it's more of a warm gray, or it's mixed with colors and textures that makes the space a bit more warm than having that gray on gray cold type of space.
Awesome, awesome. I like to hear that. It seems like there's a lot of gray. You're right. Yeah.
There is a lot of gray, and people will just do gray just because they think it's in my web. I'm like, well, do you like gray, first of all?
Seems like the last 5 to 10 years it's been like that, not just the last
Yeah,
couple of years.
it really has. And it's been to where, a lot of space, I would say, almost looks like a black and white photograph. And I don't know why people we're going towards that, but we're bringing a lot more of the warmth and personality into space. And so I'm really excited about that.
Awesome, awesome. I hope I get to see some of your designs. I think it would be interesting. Um,
Yeah.
all right, Farah, we this is a short podcast. I'm going to ask you
Yes.
one more question. This is a question that is totally just for fun. So, and you can take it however you want it in any direction. What is the
Mhm.
oldest technology you remember using?
Sort of trying to not to date myself too much, but I don't think I have a choice here. I remember going to school and having those old IBM computers that were like this big. And this, you had that green and white screen or blue and white
Mm.
screen you were typing on. So which was almost a size. I mean, those things were probably the size of a desk back in those days. So it's amazing to see how far we have come since then.
And
My
heavy,
goodness.
heavy, heavy.
Yes, very heavy and slow. Very slow.
Almost useless.
Yeah, well, at the time we were so excited just to have it, right? Then not having to use a typewriter to write a letter. It was so
Sure.
great. Now we have one of these, which is like, wow.
Yeah, you could just
Using
dictate
a
your
pen.
letter and then send it to them.
Yeah. So yeah, that's probably the oldest I can remember off the top of my head.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Uh,
Absolutely.
all right, Farah, we appreciate you having come on the podcast. We're going to end here. This is a short podcast, like I just mentioned. Everyone, you can catch the Entrepreneur's Edge podcast on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 between 11 and 11:15. We will stream it on social media every Tuesday and Thursday. We also release it on YouTube, so you can catch it on our YouTube channel if you subscribe to at the Entrepreneur's Edge podcast. And if you want to get on our email list, whenever we have a new podcast, we can send it out. It's Jared. If you want to email me directly, Jared at hiveleadmarketing.com. And we can get you added onto our list. And so you'll receive it every time that we send it out. And we'll stream it across, LinkedIn, Facebook, etc. So you can catch us there as well. Farah, thanks so much once again. And this has been an awesome podcast.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Jared.